abusuafo ne adofia wa munyina kwa babiem Alpha One so ni aha na kyese eniema e daily update ni nyina no aha na ni nyina e den e twego so me osonsa ka bia na so ayi den all like asha ma onu aso ayi den ekipi update den so bread yemfi ni chim ni enka de won chemo sabri ya tufa de ni achemo parliament house enne enomo inaugurate chese opening the 9th parliament sene be ibitimi ashe speaker in ashe the MPs elect issue in no officially no mabe MPs for their constituencies. Now so I was here can say yes some collated and redeclared constituencies be where and one assembly shut down could die and one assembly that's what court. Now so say a year easy every declare some 3 NPP PCs B so omona winning for some constituencies. Now so no NDC for no akwaje appeal on High Court. Accra High Court really no by a command EC say among going recollation no declare result no. Sabia speaking NDC for akwa serve parliament. That means for those constituencies, there's an legal tension be or a case be or I was say ye solve and son those people for the year 4 seat na Supreme Court question ye honi pomasi be and son ye MP elect for those constituencies. So for NDC no mark serve parliament. And as we speak information by say emu 2 etima boera parliament emu baako because no me 3 emu baako that is Techiman South sa MP ni ho no yenim se ya bane no anase ye season no from entering the chamber there we don't know insane mu chechemo yenkunikuti ne hwede boboba.
All right, and those are some live pictures from Parliament as we get ready for the swearing in of the MP elects, as well as, of course, the Speaker of Parliament. We're waiting to see how that goes, but any moment from now, proceedings in Parliament should begin for that vote, if really there's going to be a second name, for Speaker of Parliament, which most of us doubt. But the process will start. But my guests are here. Let's just go into it because, again, even though there has been, some uncertainty with regards to whether some 3 MPs who have been elected can be sworn into tonight. We're not sure if that's going to happen based on a legal application for a stay of execution by the NDC has been served to Parliament. We've seen about 2 of those MP elects on the floor of Parliament. So you saw Honorable Patrick Yabuama. He's the MP elect for Okankwe Central. He's actually seated. They're also exchanging pleasantries with some members on the floor. And he's not the only one as well. I mean, Tema Central Charles Forson was also spotted earlier on the floor of Parliament. The third will be Techiman South. We've not seen the MP elect for Techiman South on the floor of Parliament yet. But the latest development is that Parliament has been served with a legal application for a stay of execution by the NDC, and that might prevent the swearing in of the MPs elects for these 3 areas. And so really, is it going to prevent them from being sworn in tonight? Let me just quickly go to Wanda Victor to give us some legal perspective on this so we can have a better understanding. Yeah. What's likely to happen in Parliament?
Basically, if you have to follow the Republic versus the Bank of Ghana, as stated before, where the Supreme Court was clear that if a court is seized with the jurisdiction to hear a matter, nothing should be done to usurp the judicial power vested on the judiciary.
Okay.
If you have to go with this key legal principle, then nothing should be done tonight.
For those 3?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's clear. And there have been several case law across other jurisprudence. You understand? So I will not be surprised. But you see that, but the NDC will take a strategic position tonight. If it turns out that the NPP want to distort the peace of the country with their small micro minority.
Why would they want to do that? I mean,
Assad tonight, about 10 head of state have already arrived. We are expecting about 21 head of states. That's also something that we'll discuss later, how historic this event is.
Okay.
So we'll not allow them to kind of disturb all of us.
That's what I'm asking. That why do you think that they would want to disturb?
Now, if the speaker refuses to swear
them in,
yes, and they would start making noise and all of that, then this has to be strategic. You could see that the coalition and the real coalition, the purported real coalition, the NDC at the national level took a key decision not to storm there. Because when you do that, then you could give grounds to the outgoing government to have declared state of emergency, and probably we will not be discussing inauguration. And we knew we had picked intelligence from the barracks and all of that, but they forgot that we won in all barracks in this country. They forgot that we won in all barracks in this country. So all those things that they wanted to do, they didn't see the light of the day. But the point is, if we have to go by legal principles, I mean, the before case that I mentioned was from the Supreme Court.
Okay.
So tonight, if we have to go by legal principles and not politics, nothing should be done. Look, at the end of the day, why the rush? We were in this country 4 years. SAL had no representation in Parliament. Why the rush? These are matters that are in contention.
But is it a rush? I mean, the declaration has been made.
Which declaration are you talking about? For example, Tema Central. A declaration was made in favor of the NDC.
Of the
yes,
NDC,
so which
exactly.
declaration are you talking about?
No, that's what I mean. So if you say, what's the rush? What I'm saying is that, but these declarations have been made.
But I will not feel ignorant that they've been re-declaration as well. So that's why I mentioned that why the rush. Because they've been the first declaration. They've also been a re-declaration. So these constituencies are actually in contention.
Okay.
So my humble opinion, which I'm making forcefully, is that these constituencies should be put aside for just some few weeks. In any case, that's why I mentioned the SAL. We're in this country. It wasn't even a court process, just a letter by the EC. The entire SAL were disenfranchised. They had no representation in Parliament for 4 years. So they should wait. They should wait by virtue of the court process that have duly and lawfully been served on Parliament as an institution.
Well, we're told that, you know, the leadership within Parliament is reviewing this legal document, and of course they are consulting relevant stakeholders so they know the appropriate action to take. And so hopefully by the time the speaker is sworn in and now has to go ahead and swear in, the MP elects will know what decision would be made at that point. But Dr. Susan, let me come to you on this one as well, because again, I mean, it's still quite shocking maybe to say that elections were held on December 7th. Even up until now, we still do not have the results for all. Even Ablekuma North, as it stands now, they will not be able to swear in anyone because they still not be able to collate all the polling stations for us to know who's winning. And now we're hearing that there are 3 other constituencies that may not have their MP elects sworn in.
But why are you shocked? I mean, that this should happen.
Maybe shock is not the right word, more disappointed, because again, if we talk about our democracy growing and we're looking at 2024 where we still cannot even collate results in all constituencies, that is problematic.
Yes. So I'm, like you said, maybe not shocked, but disappointed that we should have grown to the point where, you know, this should not happen.
Yeah.
But I think that then it just goes to show that we're still learning and we still have issues. You know, sometimes because the general elections go so well, we think we have it down to a fine art, but we don't. And we see that especially with the district assembly elections. Sometimes the district assembly elections can be so badly run, but we seem to do better with the general elections, and we think that all is well. Yeah. But I think that fundamentally we still have certain problems, and things definitely can be done better so that we don't have these situations.
Yeah.
I'm not a lawyer, so when the lawyers say that it's cut out and it's when you're looking at the law, yes, and you're looking at the law, it's what do you call it? It's cut out there. It's either black or white, and that they cannot go ahead to swear in the 3. But of course, we're also in a political situation, and so because hearing Honorable
the Mafia yes.
speak, you can see that he's not talking as a lawyer, he's talking more as a politician, and because if the lawyer is there, he shouldn't be speaking the way that he is speaking. So it may be that yes, the NDC have taken a certain stand, and the thing is that when you have a majority like that, it is easy to be relaxed and and not fight over small pieces of meat. You get it and say, look, I mean, I can afford to sit down and be relaxed and not get and so that is the comfort of having a overwhelming majority, and knowing that nothing's going to change that. In the situation where the numbers were 137, 137, people get
a lot of contention.
Yes, there's a lot of contention, and it brings about that kind of friction. But where you're the big dog, and some small poodle and terrier is going, you're like, oh, really?
Shouldn't be a problem.
There shouldn't be a problem.
Then ideally they shouldn't have even gone ahead with the state of execution.
No, they should. No, they are not going to let it go. And for principle's sake, they should not let it go. And I think that, and if the people really did vote for them, they should fight for it.
Okay.
I'm not. There's no qualms about that.
Yeah.
They should not let it go. They should fight for it. And if people have made a choice for them, they should make sure that choice is established and done. But I'm talking in terms of what is going to happen tonight. There isn't the need to get into the that place where you're going to have all sorts of tensions going on. You can have a nice and relaxed.
Well, we hope that nothing happens, especially when we get to that point where the speaker announces what the decision of Parliament would be with regards to whether they're going to swear them in, or would rather not, so they don't go in contempt of court.
Well, I mean, if anybody is going to make any noise or whatever, I would not expect the NDC to do it. I would expect the NPP to be the ones to,
let's see.
So let's see.
Let's see.
I mean, an injunction is an injunction. Once an injunction has been invoked, it ought to be respected by everyone.
Okay.
Parliament is the House of Laws, and certainly Parliament would adhere to that principle of a court order restricting, some MPs from getting sworn in. We are fortunate also to have in the yet to be sworn in speaker a man with considerable amount of experience. He's a legal luminary, having had private practice, for many years before going into politics and parliament. So he himself understands the position of the law, and also surrounded by a coterie, a team of people who can best give him, sound advice on the way forward. I think it would be politically suicidal if the NPP were to say that in spite of an injunction, they were to go ahead and have the likes of Patrick Boama in the chamber. Once, that has been served on them, on Parliament, I don't think it's even appropriate for them to be in the chamber. Because
but that's served on Parliament, not on them. So Parliament. We don't know if Patrick Yabuama has been served personally.
It's an injunction served on Parliament, but I'm sure by now they would have gotten wind of.
Yeah, but if I've gotten wind and yet you've not served me, maybe we should understand that's legal angle as well. And
okay, so but the point I'm even making is that look, they find themselves in a place where they are boxed, they are outnumbered, and in spite of that, the NDC has been very magnanimous. We saying we don't want to do this alone. We want to reach across the aisle, build consensus, move the country forward, and who knows, even get one of their own sworn in as a second deputy speaker of Parliament.
Yeah.
Now, if they were to rabble-rouse, if they were to create confusion and mayhem, we could pull the rug under their feet and say, okay, Pamlo Chado, if we were, this magnanimous and were even willing to cede the position of a deputy speaker to you, and you would still be, this belligerent and insist on having your members sworn in spite of a court injunction. I think the NDC would do the right thing. I hope, we will do the right thing and pull the rag under the feet.
Okay.
Knowing the NPP for what it is, also, one could say that there could be anything. They don't know how to build consensus. They don't know how to put the national interest forward, or above their partisan interest. So that is what I am worried about.
Ebusian for ya kukudam for na churches in me am who say ye NDC for no mania brepa NDC legal team for no omokase BBC na ekoso e wose ye giomutum. Even though if your parliamentar NDC for no omona e dominate or mashe white or maji parliament house when afa omo we nijim, because the number of people manya for a mahama no e bin see that a history na a mahama eden a puli, because na Ghana for a here change, Ghana for a here answer. Now so no edifa MPC lentino and the yebesium ino and one sem bebre aba ediba some 4 constituencies are and one some more court and the Supreme Court and the High Court and the appeal like and one sem bebre and Yebeka Saturday no and Accra High Court the ruling by say EC enquiring in term non recollation for that 4 seat no. Supreme Court question no sign redeclaration near whom MPs of mind on my winning. Rule any by a pen NDC for file for appeal and a stake of execution. Echo survey EC mistake or NSA. A new coin sent or pro a recollation or any cause of because Obumra pa and Kawan Kwesa recollation. Now, so no say the amount for cano, Jamesa a lawlessness person. On farm right near Juma. So, quiet, echo ye recollation. Now, Sabras is speaking of any the confusion in the eba. Mammy, we in him the orgy or Ghana. Eke institutions are would do boom. Eke a man for Dachi boom, man for carrier boom. I don't know, yes, sir. I know. NDC for Aquaco survey that court a application or mudi be Akroma Parliament House. Say a new coin say almost swear those MPs electing in. So whether we remo I was say a you film. So we see Bella in the crew of Martinasna. The NTS is a speaker about Benin's leaders in parliament, in home of parliament, and say it's because of this case, because the MPC program the besha say na ye na so yes for aborum bim ye MPC ade no, so there must be agreement. Leaders for no so nyati say no see. So conversation ade the air koso no be a hope say said the parliament here emrashi bedroom no mobile respected the law, respected the court, because said the affinio marking PR no bonus for him say NPP a lawful a party bumra dem run a year juman show sample dem run a year juman. So as he speaking no one redeclared MP no ye who baby wafa oni chamber ho say ya stopping no see ya pamon ye nipa mienu ewrem na we are hoping say parliament ensure mu in. So mu bumran kwa dia said a man for canono. Any update we have for case will be at bro. Menko may be a process in guso. Because I'm update. I have 1 GH Akroma.